I don't know if y'all heard, but we got almost 3 inches of snow down here in Texas. It's like the apocalypse. Everyone's losing their minds. No one wants to drive around or go outside. And oh my God, it's freezing. Almost 3 inches of snow. What'll we do? What's up, everybody? It's your boy KLT here for another day of Question of the Day. And it's a little chilly down here, but it's not really that big a deal. Like if you've ever been anywhere and it's gone chilly in the least, and it is the middle of winter, to be fair. It's really not that cold down here. It's just slightly inconvenient, but we'll make it. I think we'll do fine. Question of the day is about when we were all wee children. And so the question is, when you were younger, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up? And I have to tell you, I have to start off with, I really have big beef with questions like this. There's a reason for it. Everyone always asks this question or questions like it to children who come out of our school system with no idea how to even navigate life in general. And you expect them at the age of 10 years old to tell you what their career path is going to be or what they aspire to be when they grow. They haven't even experienced more than half of the world yet. Like, give them a break. Step off with that stupid question. I hate that question. Stop asking that question. Let's at least save that question for high school seniors. So that way they've gone through school and they've heard about a few things before they get out of high school. They've gone through like budget, debt, and finance classes. They've learned to balance a budget. They've learned critical thinking and development skills. They learn how to do anything other than you graduated. You have to go to college now. We've got to fix a lot of things. We've got to go back and retune some of this before we start asking that question again. So I'm going to take that question off of everybody's syllabus forever until we can get all our education system racked back up. But anyways, I digress. Growing up, when I was younger, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. Like, I've never had an answer for that. All I knew is that when I was a kid, I played basketball, but like the NBA never appealed to me. I was never like, I'm going to go pro. This is what I want to do. I just played basketball because it was fun. It was my favorite pastime, and that was just what I wanted to do. I never was like, I need to train and practice day in and day out so I could be the next Patrick Ewing or something. That was never a thing. I never thought about it like that. I also played baseball, but that was even less on my mind of going pro than playing basketball was. Like, baseball was cool, but like, man, that wasn't. Have you ever watched a baseball game? How? You can't make it through the whole thing. I couldn't be a pro baseball player now. And the usual staples of that, the staple answers to that question, doctor, lawyer, fireman, like none of those ever crossed my mind. They were never a thought in my mind whatsoever. I never even considered them. And, growing up when I went to high school, when I got there, I was getting to the point where I was like, it's almost time to graduate. I should start thinking about a career. Do I need to go to college? Like, what are my options? What are the things I need to do? What should I look forward to? So I went and set up an appointment with my counselor, and the pillar of education and strength she was. She told me, none of that is stuff that you need to be worried about. You need to just finish high school and go and try and find yourself a good job so that way you can pay your rent and, live your life. Like college, thinking of a career path, those things aren't for you. And it always took me a while to think about it, but I figured out later on in life, after talking to other people that were under this counselor at my school, that she had some specific biases with her students. But anyways, let's step back a bit again. Can you tell that I have major problems with the educational system here? Like, man, growing up was fine, but school and everything included in surrounding school, I got some words for some people. But anyways, back to the subject. So what I kind of thought that I was going to do when I grew up was, you finally get video games in the house when you can afford like a system and whatnot. So I thought, I love video games so much, I'm going to be a game developer. So I took some classes in like just basic programming, like C++, C sharp, stuff like that. And I could not have been any more unhappy. I did not like programming at all. Like coding, doing lines of code, debugging, and all that stuff. It was snoozeville. I was not interested. So I was like, man, well, maybe I can never be a game dev. But having taken those classes, I had a lot of tech knowledge and know-how. So I thought, okay, I'll just parlay this into, going into the IT field. And so I actually took some classes for I did like my Network Plus degree, my Network Plus certification, CCNA, and MCSE. So I went to go get those certs. And I even worked as like desktop IT support for a while, and then I worked at Time Warner Cable, Adelphia, as a service provider, and I was a supervisor of the tech support teams. And while that was all fun and good and all, it was it paid, but it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't something that I wanted to do long term. It was great. Like it was pretty simple. Like I could do it with my eyes closed, but there was something missing. I could definitely feel that this wasn't it for me. And long story short, after a while, I'd fallen into working at in higher ed at Pikes Peak Community College when I was younger. And so then I started working with other students, helping them succeed, getting them through classes and blah, 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 and helping them with whatever they needed. And I worked in disability services. And man, I had found my niche. I found it. Working there was my longest job that I've ever had, and it was the happiest I'd ever been at a job. And that I don't say that lightly because man, there was so much work to be done there. It was very difficult at times, but it was, man, I found that working with people and doing things and helping other people succeed is what I wanted to do with my life. So that's what started me on working in higher ed. And then I worked with the foster care kids in the foster care system. When I joined the Peace Corps, like all this stuff to go and help other people is what I found that I really loved. Turns out that I did all of that through most of my adult life up until now. And now, before I go back into doing that, because I know that's what I want to do long term, I wanted to take some time off and kind of do some things that I wanted to have a little fun with. So I took a break, and I'm actually in some fields that I've always thought about but never really put the time into really learning to do well. And so I'm having a good time. It's great and everything, but I do miss my love of really helping people and helping other people to develop and learn and grow and succeed and hit their goals and dreams. It's like my dream job is to help other people achieve their dreams. Like I don't know. I guess that's good for everyone. But growing up, they tell you to find what you want to be. Like they ask like children, what do you want to be when you grow up? Children have no idea. And then, you have no experience, and you you don't get the chance to find out. Like I didn't know that the connection to people is what I needed until I fallen into it when I was like in my mid 20s. Like I had no idea. Some people don't find out until they actually do go to college. So college is sometimes useful. Just don't go to a big university and pay thousands of dollars to figure out what you want to do. Figure out what you want to do first, and then point yourself at that goal. But yeah, as a child, I had no idea. I had no idea what I was going to be when I grew up. But now I do know what I want to be, and I'll be working towards that again one day. But right now, kind of having fun just doing what I'm doing. And I'll do that for a while, and I'll get back on track eventually. Here's the takeaway from this. Don't ask your kids what they want to be when they grow up. Help them experience life and get some kind of, figure out what things are in the world around them and see different things and experience different things, see different places, take them somewhere or whatnot, and let them actually experience the world. And then help them determine like, oh, are these things that you enjoy? Then if they want to do that for a job, help them pursue that. Don't just say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then wait for their answer and then be like, okay, well, yeah, go do that. That's great. Good job. And especially don't look at your kids and say, you're going to be a doctor when you grow up. You don't stop picking for children, but they want to be because you didn't get to do that. Like children are not to be your second life. Children are to be their own people and have their own. Anyways, I don't want to get on a rant, but that's it for today. If you knew what you wanted to be when you grew up as a child, hit the like button and let me know that you were a very special young person that was way ahead of their time. If you didn't know what you wanted to be when you grew up, hit the like button and let me know that I am not alone and having no idea what I was supposed to be doing once I got out of high school. I was completely lost and just kind of fumbled around for a few years, but hopefully I'm not alone in that. If I'm not, like my stuff. Leave a comment if you are doing right now what you wanted to do when you were a kid. And if you kind of actually had a goal in mind when you were a child and you fulfilled it and you're living that dream right now, and let me know in the comments if you actually were one of those single-minded 30-year-old 8-year-olds. But that's it for today. We'll see you all tomorrow for the next question of the day. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and peace.